What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Hope you guys had a good day. Man, so it turns out Donald Trump supposedly signed the bill into law, Epstein bill, right? No fanfare. You know how this man loves to have his signature seen. You know, turn the card around, show you and shit. Hey, look at my signature, little fourth grader. Yeah, that dude. He did it without ever putting it out. Are we going to see it tomorrow? I mean, that's the whole celebratory part of it, right? That you get to show the world that you signed something. He didn't show the world. But what he did do is show his truth. And I don't know about truth with him. It's oxymoron. But he said it's on his Truth Social. And I don't belong on it, so I had to go deep dive for this. Donald Trump wrote this long diatribe to say that he signed something. But we're going to go through it one by one, line by line. I haven't read it yet. I'm reading alongside you guys. What's up, Lynn? How you doing? I see you, Dennis. We're going to read it together. We're going to learn something together here. Let me get it set up here for you. And we're going to go for it. You know it's going to be filled with lies, right? There we go. It says right here, Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged with the Trump Justice Department in 2019, or by the Trump Justice Department in 2019, not the Democrats, whatever, was a lifelong Democrat, donated thousands of dollars to Democrat politicians, and was deeply associated with well-known Democrat figures such as Bill Clinton, who traveled on his plane 26 times. Donald Trump, you were a Democrat, bro. I mean, who cares if it's a Democrat? This man thinks that this Democrat thing triggers people so much that it's just going to be, but see, here's the thing that's so tripped about it. His MAGA people already went batshit crazy over Democrats already. You ain't doing nothing but feeding them what they were already saying. That's what your promise was to them. And now you're starting to sound like what you were talking about before with your promise, but you were trying to kill it. You had your Pam Bondi close the case out completely. She closed it out. There's nothing else to see here. So you guys closed it out. You blaming Democrats for that? Democrats, it was under Democrats, this thing was still actually open. It was your team that said there was no more people to find. No more people to try and get. It's a done deal. So this man's trying to blame everything on Democrats and not understanding that us Democrats don't care if it was a Democrat, like we all said before. I don't care if it was the Pope. I really don't. Anybody can get it. If anybody did it, anybody can get it. It's just that simple. This old dude don't realize that. He's all stuck into this divisive mindset. MAGA wanted this because they thought it was all Democrats. They've since learned that it's a shit ton of probably Republicans in there, including Donald Trump, and they still want it. So what's the divisive crap about Democrats? And if Bill Clinton's in it, get him. Larry Summers, who just resigned from many boards, including Harvard, sleazebag. Political activist Reid Hoffman, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Somebody else wrote this because this man could not remember all this shit. He was just like yesterday. Who's that guy's name? What was that guy's name? It was, he donates a lot of money. I don't really know him that well. He donates a lot of money. Somebody said, Reid Hoffman. Oh yeah, Reid Hoffman. So you can't believe that this man's brain is actually writing this shit. If he is, somebody's writing, trying to fix it for him. Because him knowing how to spell Hakeem Jeffries, Really? Really? I don't think he knows how to spell. I promise you, if you asked him to spell it in front of you, he would not spell it correctly. But we're gonna go ahead. Um, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffrey, who asked Epstein to donate to his campaign after Epstein was charged. He's he done digged into his whole. How does he know who asked for what? So here's the thing that gets you. Donald Trump is trying to throw everybody on board off the ship. You know Donald Trump is guilty, right? You know Donald Trump is guilty of how many things we don't know, but we know he's guilty of many things, because only a rat will be starting to throw everybody else off the bus once they done caught him. He feels trapped, and therefore he's throwing everybody off the bus. Like, how many people knew that Hakeem Jeffries was asking Jeffrey Epstein for cash? How many people knew that? The only people who know that would be Jeffrey Epstein and Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, because he said he asked him for money. Didn't say that he gave it to him. It says he asked, which would mean Jeffrey Epstein had to have told you that this guy asked him for money. So that means you know information that you should not know, bruh, if he ain't your friend. And if it's something after he knew that he was a pedophile, but you know, which means you were close to him too. You were close enough that Jeffrey Epstein told you. I mean, you see how this dude throws himself under the bus, trying to throw everybody else under the bus? I mean, this shit reads like a fucking novel. I mean, you sit here and like, it points right back at him. How do you know this, bro? How do you know this information? Okay? It's not like public information when somebody asks for money. It's public information when somebody receives it. If I go and ask you for money, it don't mean nothing until it's done. He said ask. He didn't say received. So Donald Trump just ratted on himself right there. Him and Jeffrey Epstein were talking about this. Democrat Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett and many more. So he knows who Jeffrey Epstein was donating to. You want to know something else? Let's focus on when Donald Trump was a Democrat and he was working and living in New York, living his best life in the little nasty ass hotel of his, where it was stinky and so horrible and so old and trashy that, and that's how you could tell how gaudy his stuff is, that he's really horrible at design. But that they couldn't even use it on his TV show because everything in this place was just nasty and they couldn't even use it. They had to go rent out a boardroom. You got this big gold ass building, but your boardroom is trash and got all kinds of stuff. He's a pack rat, all kinds of crap all over it. That they were like, there's no way we can film in this. This does not make you look rich. You look basically trifling. What is this shit? Right? And so they rent out a space and they glorify him and make him look like he's this big billionaire and lives like a billionaire. No, lived like a complete hermit with a suit. One suit, same tie, all that. But let's get back to it. So Donald Trump is sitting here in his situation. He's telling everybody that he's somebody that he's really not, right? He doesn't have what he says he has. He's not all these things that he says he can be. And somehow him and Jeffrey Epstein are discussing all these people. If it's not Jeffrey Epstein, who could it be? Does Jeffrey Epstein go around telling everybody, you know who I opened my pocketbook up to? You know who asked me for money and that just got to you, Donald Trump? I bet you nobody else knew it except for who the people who ask. How do you know about Stacey Plaskett? How do you know about it? And people asking him for money because he's rich, what does that got to do with anything? Does that make them pedophiles? No. Does that make them like money whores? Yes. But I'd take a money whore over a pedophile any day, Donald Trump. And so you're kind of losing in this debate of who took money from whom. You just took money and invited a man whose family killed thousands of us on 9/11. And not only when you were asked about it, did you like say, well, that was a while back ago, we got to still move forward or something like that? No. This man had nothing to do with this. His family did have something to do with this. His country did have something to do with this. And he has something to do according to, I believe in America, okay? I may be foolish, but I believe in America and our abilities, because if the rest of the world is wanting to work with us on our technology and wanting to work with us on being allies so that we can help each other in wars, right? And be a part of us in NATO, and we're putting out the most money in NATO. These people look up to us. Should they? I don't know anymore with Trump, but they do. Let's just say that. And thank God they do. That keeps us safe to some degree, even though Donald Trump is trying to destroy it. They look to us for a reason, because they trust what we have to say. The information in which we get, we have to be very careful with, because it could start wars and unalive people for no reason. We can F up, but the point is we want the best in every position so that we don't F up often. And therefore we have a record around the world as being really good at what we do until Donald Trump. Every one of our presidents has listened to our CIA, FBI, all the alphabet, DOJ. They've listened to everybody. Our spies, they've listened to them. What's the use of having spies if you're not going to listen to the spies? If they're going to tell you to beware that this is going to happen, if you're not going to listen to it and listen to the people, they say, oh, you know what? Here you go. Donald Trump, there's going to be a bombing in this area right here tomorrow. We got this information from the CIA, the FBI, blah, blah, blah. And Donald Trump be like, you guys bombing us tomorrow? No? All right. You going to give me $300 million? Okay, $300 million. All right, talk to you later. He ain't bombing us. Boom, the next day. Well, didn't know. I didn't know what everybody told you. That's tantamount of what Donald Trump's about. Give him enough money, he's blind to the fact of they're going to fuck up America. This dude literally killed an American reporter. Instead of saying, you know what, we can't do business like that. Or if you're going to do business, you can't step on our soil. It used to be. It was a prestigious thing to come onto American soil, and you would not get invited to the White House unless you were an ally. No enemies were stepping on our soil. Nobody who had thrown a bomb at us, it would step on our soil. It used to be something to that nature. But not anymore for some reason. Donald Trump is like, anybody come with money, you can come here. Brought Putin here, who vowed to destroy America. This dude walks up to him like it's his buddy from when they grew up, like they grew up as children. This man has vowed to destroy America because Soviet Union broke up, and he blames it on us. He blames Hillary Clinton and all the Clintons. He blames the Democrats and all this other stuff, but he hates Americans. And Donald Trump is the only thing he likes, because Donald Trump is a useful idiot. And we have to sit here as Americans. MAGA was stupid to it, but the rest of us had to go through this pain of watching this man tear down every fiber of this country that makes America what we consider somewhat great already. The shit that we done fought, wars we done been through, the Civil War we done been through, all the different things that we've done to move it, even inch it forward. This dude is taking a slingshot backwards. He's giving racist people power, sexist people power, homophobic people power, just plain out hateful people power, idiots power. Mo, Larry, and fucking Curly is running our damn government. If you don't know who that is, that's Blanche, Bondi, and Cockeye Cash Patel. Mo, Larry, and Curly. The fucking three stooges of government. That's who's running it. None of them have the merit to be anywhere near the position they're in. Our country is a fucking joke around everywhere. None of them know how to do their jobs. And you can see it every freaking day. Every day you see these people not knowing what they're supposed to be doing. And you got to sit here and think, Who's really keeping us safe? Because these people are not smart enough. Every country has people in position that are way smarter than these people. Can you imagine them being in a meeting? I mean, seriously. Pam Bondi in a meeting with some other official from another government. She wouldn't have to be, thank God. Hopefully she wouldn't have to be. But if she were, do you literally think she can hold her own? Fuck no. Cockeyed Kash Patel traveling anywhere, even here, travel to New York and try to make an agreement on something. I guarantee you, he couldn't hold a conversation with them. They bring up a word or two. This fool would be like, "What'd you say?" Just anything, simple shit. He would not be able to decipher it. As far as how our government works, this man works off of conspiracy theories as if they're real. And those are the people that are supposed to be keeping us safe? Are you fucking kidding me? I feel safer around a security guard for a bank or some shit than I would with them. And every government has got to know this is the prime time to either fuck with America, bomb America, steal from America. This is the prime time to do it. Every country should be trying to fuck us over big time right now. It is the time. Because these people wouldn't be able to protect us for shit if they were ever going to fuck with us. It is now. Because they would not know it. Enough money in their faces, they could probably buy parts of America. There's a major country, Saudi Arabia, I believe, wants to buy like a big, I would say like a third of our entertainment. HBO, CNN, another country owning our news. Saudi Arabia, the same country that did 9/11, is lobbying to buy like a third of our entertainment in this country. The fuck is that going to look like? You thought you had propaganda before. And you think Donald Trump's going to throw in some safeguards? Oh, you can't do this and you can't do that because you're in America. You can't do propaganda. No. America should be against it. There's no way in hell you'd be selling away the American people's like ownership of everything. If we are the richest country in the world, why people can just buy us? I have never heard in my lifetime people who have money get bought out like it ain't nothing. It's usually the people who have money buying other people out. We got other countries buying our shit. And they ain't talking about a little bit, a lot. And I said, wait a minute, I thought we was the richest country. How the hell we the richest country and ain't going out and buying other people's shit? We're getting bought out. It makes no sense to me. Make it make sense. Yeah, no, they got so much right now. And that's the thing about it. We need to stop selling our shit and keeping a lot of this stuff in America. Can you imagine our enemies owning so much of the country that the only thing we got left is our weaponry to be able to defend us from them unaliving us, but they can still control and know us more than anything else through social media, through which they got right now, but through owning all the different you got to put your information in all the streaming services, Netflix. It ain't saying they're trying about Netflix. I think it's HBO, CNN. I forgot the whole thing. Time Warner used to be. I'm pretty sure it's no longer that, but it's that particular thing what they used to own, they're trying to buy now. And doing that, how do you think this country is going to be safer when our news and information is owned by them? When elections come up The news in which you receive information about your own country is owned by another country that doesn't like your government. How does that shit work? We should not be selling off our shit. Technology, hey. But if we're supposed to be number one, how are we number one when we don't even own the country, most of the things in the country that are ours? This is our country, and the things that are sitting on its soil is starting to be bought up by everybody else. How do we remain America instead of being little every country? We got every culture that came in and bought up every aspect of it that's still there in their country, but buying up our country. Not a citizen here, just buying up. They're in Saudi Arabia, just buying up our shit. Never coming to live on the soil. Don't like America. Only want to deal with cash. America's easily bought. And if you saw that Saudi Arabia, the prince or whatever he is of Saudi Arabia, you saw that presser with Donald Trump in the White House behind that gaudy ass gold. If you saw that shit, who looked the strongest? The Saudi guy or Donald Trump? Saudi guy was just sitting there like this. Put this back up here real quick. The Saudi guy did it switch back over? Yeah. The Saudi guy was sitting there like this the entire time, wrapped around his arm. He looked like he was in power. Donald Trump was all, what the fuck was that? I don't do the fist bump stuff. I give a good handshake. What the fuck was that? How does that look powerful? How does it look like our country has control of shit? It looks like our country's a bunch of simps. It looks like this man is sitting there with all the calmness of the world, royalty. And then he sees this dude groveling over him. Go back and look at it, and you'll see how weak America looks. Can you imagine? Again, don't think of this as like your boy, your cousin, your nephew. You're talking about a country, America. Right? This is what keeps us safe. When you look at America through the eyes of that idiot, of watching him among other leaders, who looks strongest? It kills me when Donald Trump and his MAGA minions used to talk so much shit. This is before they became really MAGA, about President Obama and how he measured up to other leaders. Sean Hannity and all of them, Laura Ingraham and all of them. They used to talk about how Obama looked weak amongst them. All that shit. Right next to Putin. Not Donald Trump, but all these right-wing people in Fox used to talk about Obama looked all weak and shit and doing this and that and the third and bowing when he wasn't supposed to be bowing or some shit. Respecting somebody else's culture by wearing their garb and all that. The same shit that Reagan had done and his wife. Just respecting other people's culture. And then Donald Trump goes out and basically licks the boot of every leader that has money. He's giving us money. Look, he's giving us money. He's giving us money. And that's all he cares about, money. Well, you got to understand something. Not all money is good money. And if they got to give us money and they end up owning us, why the fuck will we take that money? Do you really think Donald Trump's making good deals? Donald Trump talks about this money as if it's his money. He don't talk about it as if he's giving a fuck about America's money. Donald Trump sounds like he wants this money for himself. Because again, think about it. Why are you so excited about money coming into a country? If you're so enamored by money, why are you so excited about that money coming here? You don't get to keep it. So why are you so excited about it? You're not creating any, how you want to say, bills, laws, plans, strategies, concepts, or whatever you want to call it, that's going to benefit with that money. See, I think what Donald Trump is doing, this is just my own assumption right now, is that this money's coming into the country. He's excited about it because he ain't going to give it to us. That money's going to be used for him to give to tax cuts and give to other people, even his own sons and daughter and relatives, so that they can start businesses and become wealthy off the money that the government is getting. That money's not going to help Americans create jobs. No, it's going to be going to him and his rich friends who got him where he's at. You understand, if you listen to this man speak, he's talking about all these leaders coming to our country, and that ballroom is so that he can have more. See, this time he just went, this recently, he had that Saudi prince here. He's like, if I had the ballroom, I could have brought more people. So many people couldn't come. He wants to wine and dine and entertain billionaires all over the world at one time, so he could put them in a room and beg them all for money. Sell America. And all they're going to do is to get close to America. Of course, we'll give you $1 billion. Of course, we'll give you $1 trillion, whatever it may be. And all he's doing is just taking their money, offering them everything in the world, and we here getting nothing. This man did not, during the time where American citizens were starving and needed their, SNAP benefits, he had meetings with millionaires and billionaires asking them for money. But he had no time to feed his own people. Think about that. He didn't send out any kind of government food trucks to give people food. He didn't send out anything like, you know what, while they're doing this, here's, $20, $30 million, go out and feed different people in the families, whatever. Here's some money to donate to this organization so they can buy food until we can do that. Even taking his own money. If I were president, see, it's the difference. When you start to put yourself in positions of people, you start to see how evil and maniacal they are. If I were president and I'm this rich, I'm a billionaire, why wouldn't I take my own money and feed the people? Why wouldn't I do that? If I'm here to serve, what better way to serve than to figure out how to feed the people while we're trying to get these bills passed or whatever it is that's supposed to help the people too. See, they don't think about helping people, only them. When this country needed help, he was spending millions and millions of dollars on rich people, paying for these food and all, and then tearing down a building and all that shit like that. People starving. He trying to raise $300 million for a ballroom, but couldn't even raise $10 million for American citizens to eat. Didn't call out his rich friends and say, hey, guys, Amazon, all those people who sat behind him during inauguration, I'm going to need you guys to help feed the people until we get this done. Y'all need to start doing something. You have Amazon, Jeff Bezos, give them $35 worth of free food. Everybody who comes in gets $35 worth of free food while we're doing this, and we'll give you a subsidy at the end of it. Why couldn't you have done that? Because you don't give a fuck about the people. He wouldn't have went broke. $35, people would have came back. He helped us when we were down. People would have started shopping more on Amazon. His money would have skyrocketed. As soon as this thing was over, it would have skyrocketed because he gave people $35 worth of food every week or every other day, whenever they needed it. Could have easily helped. They don't give a fuck about you. Simple solutions they don't think about. Why? Because those don't make them money. All they care about is money, power, and themselves. You don't matter. I don't matter to them. That's why I say Americans have to unite and do for ourselves. Fuck them. They need us to get this money. They are leveraging our brilliance for these other countries to give them money. And it's time that we unite and eventually put people in office that think like us for the people. If you don't do right by the people, get the fuck out of office. That's when America has to finally put his foot down and say, look, no more, no mas. You either do right by the people or get the fuck out. There's no reason for you to be there. No reason for you to be in office if you aren't doing right by the people. We don't give you money so you can just gallivant with rich people and have a great fucking time. We give you the money so that you can protect us, military-wise. We give you the money so you can make decisions to better American citizens' lives. We don't give you the money so you can gallivant and have fun and go to parties and do all this other shit for no fucking reason other than to have a plane given to you, have gold crowns given to you. The fuck is all that gaudy bullshit? You're supposed to be helping the country, not just your own pockets. Not until Trump. We've had everybody just passed away. The president, I'm trying to remember his name, Jimmy Carter. He gave up all his farms. He gave up his farms, peanut farms, to be president because there'll be a conflict of interest. Other presidents have done it too. Donald Trump is the only president that's kept his businesses, supposedly gave it to his son. You think dipshit and dipshittery actually know what the fuck they're doing in business? The cokehead, his son Junior, you think he really knows the fuck he's doing in business? You seen him on his podcast before Donald Trump became president. He was coked up every day. You think he's really running his business? You think the other one? They look like Beavis and Butthead when they was kids, you really tell the truth. But Beavis and Butthead, you think both of them are running a business? Hell no. Donald Trump is running it through them. Donald Trump's calling them saying, hey, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Done deal. They're over here making deals because Donald Trump is setting it up. And every president before that, except for, I don't know about the one, Nixon, he's a piece of shit human. But other than that we know of. But Donald Trump is highly unethical, illegal, I would say. He's stealing money from the government. He's making money off of government things. The government makes a decision. He knows what's going to happen prior to that. He either buys or sells according to his own choices. To fuck with our economy, to bring it down. You think his kids didn't buy a shit ton of stuff before he brought it back up? You know, if Marjorie Taylor Greene recognized it and made a mint, you think he didn't do it for his own kids and himself? Him and his wife both bought meme coins, created their own meme coin, and the shit skyrocketed. It was worth crazy amount of money. And then after no time at all, that shit shot down to being worth barely. It was like $75 per, whatever coin, whatever it was. Shit shot right down to dollars, like single digits. It was worthless after they got all this money from it. I would say follow that money. Donald Trump, according to Jeffrey Epstein, has been a person who has been buying things in this country and laundering money. That's what he's been doing, according to Jeffrey Epstein, with property in this country. You think he isn't doing that with these coins? It makes it easier for him to do and not easy enough for you to find out he's doing it. But somehow you know how much money he has worth in these particular companies. So therefore you can trace where this money's coming from if you know how much it is. Who's giving it to him? There needs to be an investigation once this man is out of office. Because I truly believe he's making money off the country. And we've been seeing him do it. And he should have devoted himself away from that. His kids should not be handling business. It's so crazy how every business that he's dealing with turns out the country he done went to. And all of a sudden his sons and daughters are doing the businesses in that particular country. It happened in the first presidency. He went to China. Lo and behold, his daughter, while in China, got patents, a shit ton of them, gifted to her by this country. So let's continue on with this real quick. If it actually shows up, oh, is it frozen? There you go. He said, perhaps the truth about these Democrats and their association with Jeffrey Epstein will soon be revealed because I, in all caps, just signed the bill to release the Epstein files. Like you did something. All these people did something. And you know what's so trip? As of yet, he hasn't mentioned all the people who did it. You notice something. When the Democrats were the ones who got it across the board, right? Very first to the House and stuff like that. They got it and they voted on it. And the first thing when everybody was asked, Ro Khanna, Thomas Massie, even Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think her name was Yana Presley, a few other people. I know I'm missing names. All of them, what did they say once they got it across the line? It is those ladies up there. It is those women out there. This is their day. If it had not been for them fighting for 30 years, this wouldn't even got close. So it's their day. We just started listening. We are fighting because they kept talking about it. They kept fighting. They gave it to them. And then they were saying what we had to do. Well, we had to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this to get there. But if it wouldn't have started for them. Donald Trump, as of yet, has not given any of those women credit to getting this across the board. He is all about, I signed. So crazy. It's been sitting on your desk for fucking hours. As soon as it got to the Senate, it was signed. As soon as it got to you, it was hours later. That you didn't even give the women the excitement and joy to see you sign it. You didn't invite the women there to see them behind you and give them that celebratory moment that they got the president to sign it. You left them out of the equation and just put yourself front and center. They're the ones who did it. And they should have been right behind you. And it should have been afterwards. But no, you cheated these women of their victory when the Democrats gave them their victory, celebrated alongside them. You fought it all the way. And when you couldn't win and you knew you couldn't win, you sit here and try to reverse it like you helped them win by signing it. You're a despicable human being. As everyone knows, I asked Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune to pass this bill in the House and Senate respectfully. Nobody knows that because you know why we don't know that? Because Mark Wayne, whatever his name, he's got like 3 damn names. That guy. He came and shook Schumer's hand and basically made a deal that we're not even going to show up to the podium. We're not even going to do anything with it. You go ahead and bring it up and we're out. Came up to the podium. Thune wasn't there. So if you wanted Mike Johnson and Thune and all that, you need to get on the same page as Mike Johnson. Because when he says right here, everybody should know, as everyone knows, I asked Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader Thune to pass this bill in the House and the Senate. You did not. Because just today, earlier today, before you signed this shit, what did Senator Mike Johnson say as they was walking next to him and asking him, what's going on? What do you think is going to happen with Donald Trump once him signing and stuff like that? And how do you feel at the fact that Senator Thune didn't even, contest it? Because Mike Johnson wanted them to amend it in the Senate. And he sent them things that he wanted amended. And he was saying, I hope that they take these on. And in fact, he said something to the fact of he has like basically a tacit agreement that they would do something. And instead, they did absolutely nothing. They didn't even show up. Mark Wayne, something came up and actually gave the nod, the handshake to Senator Schumer that we'll let it pass. We're not going to show up and contest it. So That lets you know that Senator Thune and Mike Johnson weren't on the same level, right? They weren't talking to each other, and if they were ignoring the hell out of each other, right? And then for Donald Trump to come out and say both of them were there for me. Well, Mike Johnson thought that Senator Thune kind of threw you guys under the bus. Mike Johnson said you and him were on the same page, and it was disappointing what Thune did because me and Donald Trump always wanted to do blah, 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 right? That was earlier today as he's walking up the steps of trying to evade the reporter. And so Donald Trump comes out and says, we've always been on the same plane. We have not. You guys literally today were on 3 different fucking planes. And your dumbass was actually on a bus. They were on the planes. It took you a long time. Senator Thune was on a jet. As soon as it hit, boom, it was done. That's quick. You took hours into the night to finally come up with this bullshit ass post and say you signed something in a celebratory mode like you were always there. You were not. And I hope these news organizations and so forth will read this shit and tear your ass a new one. Because this is bull. It's easy to debunk this crap that you're saying. Because of this request, the votes were almost unanimous in favor of passage. At my direction, the Department of Justice has already turned over close to 50,000 pages of documents to Congress. You said 30,000 just the other day, so now it's 50,000. She said 37,000 too, but now it's 50,000. Which one is it? That's 20,000 more. That's a huge chunk. You guys with these numbers, y'all just spit shit out. None of y'all think about facts. You just say, oh, it's 55 million. I put out 35 million plus 7. I mean, what the fuck are y'all saying? You got numbers Tourette's. 78,000, 2 million. What number is it? They don't know. Those things were already out. Just like when she gave you that little binder, Pam Bondi was out there with the little binder for the social media people. And it turns out it was the same shit that was already out. Over what, 30,000 pieces of documentation at that point, or whatever it was. That's old shit, bro. These emails just came out. And that didn't come from you. That came from the estate. I promise you, these people, man. Do not forget, the Biden administration did not turn over a single file or page related to Democrat Epstein, nor did they even speak about him. They did speak about him. They actually charged Ghislaine Maxwell. She got 20 years. You're the one that's giving her like a free ride and giving her a dog and shit. The Democrats put her behind bars for 20 years. I mean, it's just too simple. MAGA, just look it up. It's very simple. Donald Trump, under 2019, they arrested they arrested Jeffrey Epstein. He ended up dead. Under Biden, she was unarrested and she was actually charged and got 20 years. She's still alive. It's weird how the person who got arrested under you, Trump, ended up dead. Person that was arrested and charged under Biden is still in jail and well alive. And instead of her ending up dead, she's getting all this favorable treatment from you. And Todd Blanche, who says, I didn't know all the information before I told everybody to let her free and go to a nice place. I didn't have all the information. So how can you let somebody out when you don't have all the information? You had enough information from what you thought to put her in a better prison, Club Fed, but you don't have all the information. He said to George Conway. That was his little rebuttal to George Conway saying, basically, Todd Blanche was a dipshit. Kind of strange. Continue. He says, nor did he even speak about it. Democrats have used the Epstein issue, which affects them more than the Republican Party. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. This right here is the conundrum I have right here. It's a conundrum. See, you're saying that the Democrats made this an Epstein issue, which affects them far more than the Republicans. So they're pushing something that's going to harm them. Lord, thank you, Democrats, that you actually charge people, or at least seek people that's within your own party that may have harmed children. He's literally saying, Republicans, if we were doing it, we'd be hiding it. We wouldn't be pushing it if it's going to hurt us. The Democrats are pushing it, and it's going to hurt them more. Weird, huh? I mean, these are not flexes, bro. You're slow. You literally think saying ratting on yourself for doing something, or ratting on your own party for doing something they possibly would have done. The Democrats are messing up by standing 10 toes down with the women, because Republicans wouldn't do it. They stand 10 toes down for themselves. Not a flex, bro. Not a flex. To try and distract from an amazing victories. There's no victories on your side, bro. You look like a simp. You're basically a president prostitute. Wherever the money is, you're willing to just go and do whatever you do on your knees. You and Bubba and Netanyahu and whomever. You're the one that gets on your knees for every dictator or a person that you consider to be strong. You know a weak person when they look at people who have mental issues as being strong. I mean, Putin's a bitch. I mean, seriously. The shit that, I mean, he's a midget for one. And I'm sorry for that, midget. I'm sorry, little people. He's a little person for one, right? And he walks around like he's Napoleon. Like, oh, he got this complex. It's because he's a little tyrant. But it comes down to what? Mom don't love him. Nobody else loved him. He lost something he thought he should have had. He won. He lost. I lost Soviet Union. I want it back. That's all he is. Crying bitch. That's what he is. You think of that as strong because he harms people when he cries like a bitch. All these other people, they all got some kind of short complex. Or some kind of like, I got a small penis complex. You can tell people with small dick energy. They're always sitting here like, oh, I don't get this and I don't get that and I don't get this. Shut up. Deal with it. And that's what they do. Cry and moan about shit that you think that they're leaders. They're not. They're tyrants. People in their life didn't love them, so they got nothing but hate for everybody. They want to have all power because when they're behind closed doors, nobody gives a flying fuck about them. They don't have no love in their life, and they want it. That's why they put out this strong, look at Donald Trump. He wants love at all times. The media, you guys always say bad things about me. I think I want to get your station shut down. Wah. Say what? You worried about media. Every 5 minutes, this fool's talking about something about, well, you don't, I think we should shut down. I think we should look at your license because you don't like me. You always got negative stuff to say about me. Wonder why, dipshit. Why don't you change so they don't have to say negative shit about you? You want people to like contort to your whack ass beliefs that you deserve praise when you don't. See, people get praise when they deserve it. You want it because you want to turn on this faucet of deserving. And you want to overflow an abundance of deserving when you don't deserve shit. You want this huge participation trophy for doing nothing other than waking your orange ass up and sitting in a long ass chair or long ass tie in a chair all day with your thick cankles. Oh, I should get praise. Heave it on me. Heave it on me. You know what that says? It says that when you're alone, you literally are nobody. When the cameras turn off, you are nobody. When you're not putting out a tweet, you are nobody. You always want to be somebody. That's why you all the time, because you're nobody. So therefore, every day you got to wake up and feed this nothingness inside you and torment everybody else. Because why? You're tormented. Tormented by what your dad was. You're tormented by what your mom was. You're tormented by the fact that the things that you've done to children and other people, it torments you. It really does. And that's how you act out. Said to a reporter, called her a little piggy or some shit like that. You're a piggy. If she's a pig, homie, you're a hog. Boss hog. You're huge. You need to get some of your own medicine. These people need to stop allowing you to say the shit you say. And they need to say shit back to you. Because I guarantee you, this is Donald Trump's way of, when you think of like a kid back in the day, you can picture Trump. When they used to say his dad and other people that he cared about used to call him stupid and dumb and you ain't worth shit, he just sat and cried. Donald Trump is an abused little boy that grew up into an abuser. And the only way he gets ahead in life is to abuse. And if his dad wasn't rich, he would be some broke dude on the street sucking dick to get his food. Where's the lie? He doing it now and he don't have to. He's enamored with money. It's crazy how you were born and raised around money, but you wanted it so much because you think money gives you acceptance. That's all he wants to do, be around these billionaires and be accepted. Because there's nothing inside of him that is accepting. That's why when you look at the leader of Saudi Arabia, any leader, how they're just calm and cool with themselves. They've been raised to like everybody kiss their ass. No, I ain't kissing nobody's ass. I'm sitting here. I'm the man. There ain't nothing I got to prove to you. And Donald Trump, even though everybody looks at him, oh, he's got money, he's richer, then why does he act like he needs something from somebody at all times? If you already have it and you already got that energy, people want to be around you. It's not you the one that's touchy-feely. It's them wanting to be around you. But whenever you see Donald Trump around leaders, he's excited to be around them. Why? Because he's walking around, getting in front of them, taking pictures and primping, looking like, look, I'm important, Ma. Look at me. I'm here, Ma. But he doesn't feel that inside. He just wants you to see that. It's all presentation. It's all an act. This man will die a lonely human being. His wife, did you guys hear? Jeffrey Epstein fucked his wife before him. She's a hand-me-down. She is literally a hand-me-down from a pedophile. She knew about all this shit going on. She was with Jeffrey Epstein. All of Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriends knew about this shit to some degree. She was his girlfriend before Donald Trump had her. We knew that she was a, like, you know, mail order bride type situation. That's what that model shit was all about. Like escorting, going out with people. Who else was she with before Donald Trump fell for her? Huh? You can do what you want, but don't pretend like you're somebody that you're not. He's a poor, pathetic, rich guy. Poor, pathetic, rich guy. Trying to be important, but he's a nobody. And he will go down as a nobody president because nobody's going to remember him when we get past this bullshit. Other than the fact that he was a stain, the shit stain on America. Ain't nobody going to want to put him on anything. And I promise you, put up a statue of that bitch. It will be melted by the time this man passes away. Ain't nobody going to keep that shit there. That shit will be, next president's going to tear that shit out. And if they don't, they should. We should pass a bill to get rid of it. Just like he got rid of the East Wing. Anything he builds should be destroyed. All right. Continue on with this before we get it. I said in order to try and distract from his amazing victories, included a big, beautiful tax cut bill, whatever, strong borders, no men in women's sports. You know what's so trip? It said no men in women's sports. That's that red meat shit. Because you got to understand, there were less than 10 people in sports that were women, that were trans women. I believe it was really like 2 or 3. And he calls that ooh, that's a win. 2 or 3 trans people. Really? Really? And even that, Like I told you, I'm a solutionist. Like I said, I be a pitch. Avid solutionist. Avid solutionist. Okay, literally, I want you to understand something. As a human that cares about people, which I think we all should be, but doesn't always work like that. God didn't build us all the same. Solutions can be had with calmer minds and people who think about all parties. Trans women, they were previously men physically, right? From I may get that wrong technically, whatever. I'm not into that, but let's just say from the outside looking in, they were men. That's what these people are talking about. But they've gone through a transformation. They don't lost some of their muscle mass and all these different things. They're not the same as they were before. But here's my point. You can heal things with love and not hate. It is their hate that's fueling this. But if you look at it from the perspective of the person who feels like a woman and all being a woman, all that, there's a way to bargain with that person or persons that come down the line. Based on the muscle mass is what separates you in that situation from, male and female and testosterone and all stuff like that. Mathematically, you can factor that into any race. It's very simple, but it's whether you want to heal with hate or you want to heal with love. Hate is to cut you out completely and dismiss you. Love is to figure you out and put you in so that if you do win, it's more valid and the girls don't feel like you actually outdid them because you are a stronger male and that you're somewhat faster than them and maybe taller than them. But through math and science, you could fix all that. I said it like it took me less than 10 minutes when I heard this issue many moons ago. When I heard this, I don't know how long ago it was, but when I first heard of this actually being a thing, I was like, look, if it's all about muscle mass, you can tell the difference between the actual women themselves. You know how much usually a woman has fat on her body and muscle, male muscle and mass. You can measure all these people. And when you're an athlete, you get measured for everything. Height, this, that, and the third, jumping, all that in basketball, and how hard you can hit, how many pounds you can lift, things of that nature. You can always offset. And just think about it. If this trans woman, after going through the test, we find out that she's 2 seconds faster than the fastest woman that is on record this year. She's 2 seconds faster. Well, and then on top of the things that factor in, is that, okay, if you factor all that in, I'm sure it would come back. She's maybe, let's give it 5 seconds faster altogether based on the length and all stuff like that. We got to give you 5 seconds. That would mean the women who are women-born women would start the race, bow, gone. 5 seconds, bow, time for the trans woman to go. It's a fair race at that point. Problem solved without killing anybody's hopes and dreams. We're Americans. We're supposed to care about each other. We're not all the same. We're different. But by offsetting it, that's all we had to do to solve it. Instead of turning people into pariahs and making them feel like they're nobody, and if they feel like a woman, who am I to tell them that they're not? And is it hurting you? No. They use that as a cudgel. And I'm like, all you had to do to solve it was to offset. You do tests for everything else, offset, and you're good. No, we want to exclude and make them feel like they're not who they are. So we're going to destroy our human beings' feelings. And you think they were doing it facetiously? Like a dude literally just wanted to win a lot, so he decided, oh, I'm going to become a trans person so I can win against girls. If that's what you really think, who would go through that just for a fucking race? Anyway, that's my point about that. Being able to be able to solve problems. Now, people can tweak it all they want, but that's a simple way, and everybody is good, I would think. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, you can have your own. Again, we don't have to. Everybody can, we can come up with an agreement that things can work. It don't have to be I hate, so therefore they can't. It's like, dude, relax. So they made this whole thing to divide us, but there's so many ways to work together to unite us. And having your own, but again, if it's a transgender person, there needs to be a transgender person or transgender people in this conversation, and I'm not one. But I would love to speak to transgender people and say, how would we be able to solve that? What would you think would be a good thing? Transgender athletes, what would you would that work for you? Would you just want your own segment? I wouldn't want to ignore it, because if they have a feeling they want to be an athlete, why would we ignore that? Anyway, so men in sports, or transgender for anyone, for everyone, ending DEI. Yet though you got a bunch of people working for you that don't know what they're doing, and you just wanted to hire white people and maybe hire qualified white people, but you got people who weren't qualified for the job. So much so, we're gonna talk about that in a hot second. But stopping Biden's record-setting inflation. He's trying to blame Biden for inflation. Dude, throwing tariffs on things and having people figure out what the hell is going on every time you throw a tariff on and put 90 days on it. Throw a tariff on and put 90 days on it. To the point where you got the Trump always chicken taco. You got the name Taco, not from anybody regular, like average people, not from Main Street. It was Wall Street that gave you the name Taco, because they were like, this dude's all over this place. He chickens out. So, okay, now we got to figure out that every time he says something, don't listen to him. Keep moving. And that's why the stock market's going up, because they're not listening to what he's saying. They are discounting him in order to get their lives to keep it going up. If they listen to him every time, the market would drop. But they said this fool had us drop 3 times, and every time he keeps like effing it up. Nah, we're going to keep moving. And it's been working. They don't listen to him. It's so crazy how this man is a president, and the country, the way they make money, they don't listen to him. A leader that you don't listen to because what he says makes no sense, and they keep moving, and we keep thriving. But if you listen to him, the country would go down worse than what it is. If the market listened to Donald Trump, we'd be in hell. People who have stock, and it's been dropping the last few days or so from what I hear, but the only reason it was still going up for a long time is because they were ignoring him. It's crazy. He keeps on going on, lowering prices. Prices are not low. Big tax and regulation cuts in history, ending 8 wars. He never even ended a war. I don't know what he's talking about. Rebuilding our military, on and on and on. This dude just on and on. Ukraine, Russia, blah, 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 blah. Deflect and distract from the great job that he's done and Republicans done. You have not done a great job. You've got one bill actually passed since you it's 9 months. It's 9 months. It's 10. It's going on 11 months now. Well, January, so it's 10 months now. As of probably 2 days from now, 10 months. You've got one bill in 10 months, in which he says, we don't need any more bills. I'll take care from here. So we don't know exactly what's in that bill, that he doesn't need another bill. But in 10 months, this man has got one thing passed. That's it. By this time, Biden had passed so much shit, it was ridiculous. Just about every president has. But that's him. Now he's talking about what he's done and how he's gotten so many things done this time. You know, yeah, he demanded a Nobel Peace Prize. Who the fuck does that? Exactly, Lynn. I'm like, who asked for it? It's something that you get because you did something. And then when he didn't get it, oh man, butthurt. Made up some shit. I mean, even the countries that he said he ended wars in, it was like, America had nothing to do with it. And I'm like, how are you going around telling that you ended wars in places where the country itself is saying, you ain't had shit to do with this, bruh? And he's saying it with confidence. Yeah, I did. No, you didn't. It's crazy. He collects shit, trophies that he doesn't own. You know, it's like, I got an Oscar too. You know what I'm saying? I won the NHL. I got an MBA. I'm smart because my uncle was smart. It's like, bro, that ain't how it works. You were dumb when you were a young person. You're delusionally stupid now. You claiming shit just out of nowhere. I'm a race car driver. No, bro. No, you're just an orange buffoon. That you can claim. Trophy, give him a Cheeto or some shit, as a gold Cheeto, as a trophy. It's crazy, y'all. But did you guys see? I got a couple things to talk about. We're gonna get up out of here. But did you guys see Pam Bondi today? I mean, seriously, did y'all see Pam Bondi? I'm gonna let y'all give me some information while I put y'all stuff up here because I haven't put it up today. Anybody see Pam Bondi? 47 won the participation trophy because earned one. Yeah. To achieve every evil action he wants. Exactly, Jay. Well, we're about to see Pam Bondi. Just a little snippet of what she had to say today. And these, and this is where I call Moe, Larry, and Curly. You could pick whichever one you want to call Moe, Larry, and Curly. But these are the three stooges of government. I mean, just be my guest.
What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come for information. There's information new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law to investigate any leads.
Would you limit the new investigation to just those named persons that the president talked about, or is this a broad, open-ended investigation?
I would refer to the Deputy Attorney General's post that he put out on X, and we're not going to say anything else on that because now it is a pending investigation in the Southern District of New York.
She said information 5 times. Information, that's just the information, that the information is the information of the information. Information. And just in case you didn't hear it, information. Information. Like, Trick, what you talking about? What information? You guys closed the case and said there was nothing to see here. Cockeyed Kash Patel and Todd Blanche over here, both of them just sitting back there dumbfounded. I mean, if you saw this presser, Cockeyed Kash Patel just sitting there like the whole damn time. I'm like, lower your neck, dude. You trying to seem like you tall amongst them? You little, dude. You little. Step into your Napoleon. This man said, what is that shit? You don't believe me? Check out that fool again. This dipshit, I'm telling y'all, man. Look at him. I'm gonna play it for a hot second. Pause it.
What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Look at him. Like his mom took him to take a picture. Say cheese. Oh, shit. Look at him. Looking 35 directions with 2 eyes. And then you got when he's asking the questions, they're asking her the question about what was new, what's going on, why you a case that was closed and you got something, new information. You got Todd Blanche over there trying to listen in, like, what's he saying? What's he saying? Trying to figure out he got to answer it for her because he knows she don't know shit. She literally just got information. That's all she had. Like, what information? Just it's a new investigation. If you got some new information, but what information you got? It's information. The information we all saw with our own 2 eyes. Cockeyed Patel may have saw it 37 times with his 2 eyes, but we saw it, right? And what we saw was Donald Trump telling you in a truth or whatever that was post that you need to start an investigation on the Democrats. And then you said you're on it. There is no other public information other than the fact that we learned that Donald Trump wants you to throw a kink in this because you couldn't stop the Democrats and the Republicans from actually passing this bill, so you had to do it. I mean, how many times people got to recognize that this man is trying to throw a kink and you getting close to his ex-girlfriend, Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, come on. And I thought he was a pervert. Really? You thought he was a pervert? You thought he was weird? Then why was you still cool with him then? You invited him to Thanksgiving dinner at Mar-a-Lago in 2017, I believe. Was it? He said. Huh. You invited somebody you thought was a creep / pedophile to your home 2017. You know he'd already been charged with it. And you want to talk about in your little thing that Hakeem Jeffries wanted money from somebody that he knew was a pedophile or whatever. Something was wrong with him back in the day because he got charged with it. Got charged with a prostitute with a minor or something like that. You knew too, bruh. Matter of fact, you was close to him and knew exactly what he was doing. And you've gotten charged with raping a 13-year-old alongside him. So that means you know what his unit looks like because y'all was in the same room doing y'all thing with a child. And you want to talk about somebody accepting money from that freak? We got a whole ass human being, a Kate Johnson, that told us in a document that she filed of what you did, basically play by play what you did. And you want to act like you're better? I wish you had only taken money from this man as opposed to participating in destroying children's lives for your own self-aggrandizement. Because your family didn't love you. You chose to harm everybody else. Maybe they did it to you. I don't know. But you're a sick human being. How you became president? Too many racist people in this country. Too many people who are in this country that are white and will give a pass to white people. If you don't think it's white privilege, you don't know what white privilege is. Because there's no way a man charged 34 times for major crimes. I mean, countless women have said that he's grabbed them by the you-know-what, right? And then on top of that, this man has a case where he said his wife said she was raped by him, called the police, then dropped it. Another girl says he raped her, and some other girl named Tiffany was in the room, didn't know it was going to happen. And Donald Trump said something about, you lucky it wasn't some pimply-faced teenager. You got it from like the Don or whatever it was. And then there's a 13-year-old girl. How many motherfucking things you got to have to find out that this dude's a pedophile? I mean, how many? Does it take 5? Can we get 2 more? Because I know he did it more than 3 times. If we got 2 more people, you start believing it? I already believe it. They don't need to prove shit to me. Too many people have already said it. You are it. You got to prove you not it in my mind. He's got to prove that he's not it. And by trying to get this case thrown out or prolonged or pushed away when it was your people, you even said it in here in this tweet, this truth, that Republicans were pushing for it. Then all of a sudden Democrats want to push for it, and they are all in it. So why would they want it? The question is, if you're not in it, why don't you care? Why do you care about it? Release it. But oops, we know you're in it. And oops, you was a Democrat, dipshit. Man, this boy is slow. All right. So yeah, you see Cockeyed Cash Patel sitting there. And they always say they hire the best. You guys see today, Lindsay Halligan, I believe. She was a insurance lawyer who had never tried, as a prosecutor in her life. And she goes to the grand jury, right? And in the grand jury, what did this woman do? She got caught in there trying to get, this is Letitia James too, but it was James Comey. She signed the actual grand jury, indictment. And I wanted to go on a little bit. I learned a little bit more about it because when I heard about it, all I heard was that she didn't fill out the form correctly or whatever, and that she presented it improperly, and therefore the case may be thrown out, but the judge has not ruled. But I had to figure out, like, how do these indictments work when you have a grand jury? Well, put it this way. She had and this is her right here as we speak about it. She had a 3-count indictment. You can see my fingers, a 3-count indictment, right? So she took this to the grand jury, the evidence she supposedly had, not all of it, just enough to get, them to actually say, okay, you get indicted, to indict someone. Well, she took these 3 counts and she presented it to them. We don't know how she presented it. They haven't gotten that information, but I think James Comey has subpoenaed that, and I think they decided to give it to him. But there's 3 counts that she went there and presented to the grand jury. The grand jury came back and said, 2 of them you can do, 1 you can't, right? Now, what she did with this 3-count indictment, that 1 they said no, 2 they said yes to, she had to be smart enough that she can't turn that in the way it is, but they had to agree on all the particular things that have the indictment. So what she did was took it back and went to Pam Bondi, right? Her and Pam Bondi, and it's within the same day now, her and Pam Bondi got together, 2 brains. Either they were maniacal and evil, or those 2 brains didn't have a brain cell for law enough to know what the fuck they were doing. I don't know which is which, but either one of them is fucked up. So those 2 brained people came together and ixnayed 1 off of the indictment and kept the 2 that they decided to keep. This meaning the grand jury. So they took the 1 off, put the 2 that they said yes to on it, and then went to pass that shit, to pass it on to whatever you got to do, a judge, whatever, to keep it going. So therefore, you're indicted, James Comey. You're indicted, Letitia James. And so by doing that, the law is, right? If you bring a 3-count situation and they say yes, yes, no, you can't scratch out the no and take the 2 yeses. You have to go back out, fill out a whole process, right? It would take probably the next day or so. It couldn't do it the exact day. And the reason why they knew it was the exact same day is because it was literally 6 minutes from the time that they said no on 1 and 2 and yes on the other 2, the different counts. They went back and she talked to Pam Bondi. Within 6 minutes, this woman got out of the room, got to Pam Bondi. They doctored the document and brought it back. They never went back to the grand jury to show them the 2-count indictment. So the jury never got to see the 2-count indictment. So it's invalid. Normally. Now, I don't know what this judge is going to do because, it's under Trump, people under Trump. So what they should have done was go back, revise it to just for those 2, right? A whole different other indictment for these different, well, indictment, but a whole different charge. The 2 charges they could have kept the same, but they had to go get those charges, put it on another document, file it again, then come back and present just the 2 to the grand jury without the 3rd one added. And the grand jury would have to vote and say yay or nay. And if they say yes and yes, now you got a 2-count indictment, and then you turn that in, and that's legal. There's only one other way to do that, in which I don't know if they didn't know this or they did it like maniacally and in an evil way. I know that Lindsay didn't know this. I don't know Pam Bondi. But the other way to get this accomplished is you take it to the grand jury, right? You pitch the 3 counts. They say yes, they say no, they say yes. At that particular point in which you're in the room with them, you could ask them to vote to actually like cancel out the one that they don't like. They can cancel that out. The grand jury can do that and sign it and initial it. The grand jurist. She didn't probably know that. She just looked, I got 2, and left and tried to fix it. But no, you can, while you're in the room with the grand jury, you can ask the people in the grand jury to basically X out the one that they wanted and sign it. And that will become valid as well. But they didn't know that. They went out and doctored the document, took off that 3rd indictment, and just had the 2 and did never present it to the jury. You talk about, and they call these people merit. These people merit. Their merit is just loyalty to a dipshit. It is like the F students are running our government. The students who wore a chin strap and a helmet are running America. That's sad. Very sad. Was it I am Aaliyah K? I've gotten an attorney disbarred last year, play stupid games, pay stupid amounts of money, and lose your job. Hey, shit happens. I feel you. Whatever happens, happens. I'm sure you fought right and got what you want, got what you deserve from it. Happy for you. Right, Vera? Why go to law school 4 to 8 years just to get your license disbarred for covering up for that clown? And that's what they risk is getting disbarred. Then what use are you to Donald Trump? Because I mean, at this point, what law office is going to hire you? You might as well just give it up. It's scary. But yeah, that's what happened. Lindsey Halligan, we'll see what happens either tomorrow, what the judge says. But it's amazing to me how people who have no merit are in positions that they should not be in. You know, I'm going to be doing some more Avid Solution stuff, working on that tonight. Keep looking forward to that. One of the topics in a future show is, I look at it this way. I'm a person who thinks that if we can send a piece of metal and a rocket, fuel into the atmosphere without just blowing up, or with it actually sustaining itself and coming back and landing, if we can create technology that can keep us alive, like robotic hearts and things of that nature, we create clone parts of our body to give ourselves a new liver or kidney. If we can do those things, we can solve the problems of like sex trafficking or child sex trafficking. And that's one of the problems I'm going to take on as like how to solve. You think I'm bullshit? I'm serious. I think through technology, we could be able to help solve that problem. Matter of fact, I came up with a solution today and I'm tweaking it. And it'll be one of the episodes on Avid Solutionists, because I think we can do it. It just takes Americans want to do it. And we can do it in a situation where Americans feel safe on all aspects of it. All it takes is for the ingenuity, the mindset of wanting to change something, to move in a direction to solve it. I know people are wondering, like, how could it be? You'll hear it. It's a tease for the show. But I'm not going to pitch it right now. But the reality is, I'm trying to solve big world problems, as well as small ones too, because no matter what, every problem in my mind deserves a solution. And that's why I have Avid Solutionists. So you're going to see these things come to life, hopefully beginning of next year. I'm still working on it, but I truly believe we can solve the problems that we face. It takes unity. It takes us, the same energy to think of like we instead of just me. We're in this world together. There's no reason we should think that we're alone. It's a we thing, not a me thing. That's the way I look at it, and that's why I'm going to continue to look at it. And hopefully more and more people come around and become Avid Solutionists as well. Many of you already are Avid Solutionists, what I determined that to be. You've solved problems throughout your life. But oftentimes, here's one of the things that I recognize as a parent or as a person who just loves to share and help people. Oftentimes, you will share things with people you love, and they don't take your advice because they're like, you're just, you're Drew or Straight Facts, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And just like they don't value it. But then you tell somebody who's a stranger, because these are the things that helped you get by, and you start changing lives. If you listen to your family members tell you, oh yeah, whatever, you never become whom your God created you to be. Because for some weird reason, family members never really have as much faith in you as a stranger would that you help by being your legitimate self. When you step into your own like passions and get into your own purpose, you create service from your purpose. And when you create that service, That's when you become all your God created you to be, because you're using your purpose to solve problems. You're not here just to live and die. You're here to live and keep others alive, to give people what you had behind you, and give people what you had that you're going to be in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And so that you can be able to give them what you had, so they can learn from it and grow and get better and better and better, not go backwards. And so when you think about, you know, the things that you've learned in your life, the wisdoms that you have, no matter what anybody says, all of us have gained wisdom. If we live long enough, we've gained wisdom. But we've been through things like these women who have been through things with Jeffrey Epstein. They have been through things none of us have been through, or many of us, I can't speak for you, have been through. They're wise on levels that they just don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And they can be very protective and understanding and helpful for people to watch out for certain keywords or clues, to know that you're probably headed toward the direction that they went to based off of their own experiences. We don't have those experiences, therefore we can't share to you, you know, how to be safe in that aspect, or how to recognize this, that, and the third. And it's all about sharing what you know that protects other people. It's all about sharing what you know that propels people to another level. And at the same time, if we had that, all of us would be reaching higher levels in our life because of people like us who would help the next person. And then that same thing, if we had that, man, the world would be such a better place. And I understand that there, in certain categories and areas in pockets throughout the world and throughout the United States, there are people who do that for others, but it's not strong enough that a lot of us have that same feel. I know many of people who have looked for mentors or people to help them learn about business or computers. I used to do computers, and people be asking me about computers, trying to learn it, technology, all that. And it's hard for people to ask these questions, but a lot of times people don't want to answer them. And what we're going to do is start answering these problems so that it can unlock people and get them to where they've always wanted to be. It's a we situation. This world is a we thing. And if we help each other rise, I think the world would be a better place. It's not about me, it's we. And as the people around you rise, so shall you. It's never against them. You can always find those people who are, like always me, want, me. But when you get into a we mentality, those me people fade away because you just don't give them what they need, that me stuff. When you get into the we mentality, the people who are in that we mentality start to follow and be like, how can I be of service? How can I lend my brilliance? Or even how can I even discover my brilliance? Because I've never told I was brilliant. I'm one to believe we're all brilliant. We have our own brilliance. We don't have to compete. We were all born individually brilliant. And some of us may not have been tapped into it. Some of us may have never been told we are brilliant. And here you will be. Avid Solutionists, definitely you'll be told you're brilliant on a day-to-day basis. And I'm going to require people to wake up every day and say that they're brilliant, because you can't untap all of you if a part of you keeps holding you back. If a part of you keeps pushing yourself down, how can you open up the door and become all you were created to be when sometimes your worst enemy is you? Sometimes those words that people have told you when you were younger that you believe, you repeat. And if you repeat it to yourself, it becomes a part of you. All it takes is to deprogram yourself and tell yourself that you're brilliant every day when you wake up, to look in that mirror and know that you're going to be all you were created to be. Nobody's going to stop you. Nobody else can tell you what you can't be. It's all about what you are and being around people who celebrate you instead of tear you down. Don't allow that negative to seep in and become verbiage that you repeat. And when you say great things about yourself, say it out loud. Who cares if people hear it? Say it out loud in the mirror, at home, whatever. Say it out loud, because there's something about hearing your brilliance, hearing the faith in yourself that activates something. Saying it to yourself in your head, not the same. Hearing it out loud, you start to change. So speak it into existence, and so shall it come. All right. You guys have a great night. Wonderful night. Much love to y'all. I do this because I love telling the truth. I share this positive stuff, because it's a part of who I am. I want everybody to have and not be of the have-nots. And people, don't let people tell you that something's not possible. Even that I mentality, when you say, well, everybody can have this, and then somebody said, well, not everybody. Shut up. You are speaking that negative shit into you. There is an abundance. If you believe in anything powerful or God, whatever, there is an abundance for all of us to have. Not everybody wants to be a billionaire or a trillionaire. There is an abundance for all of us to have. Stop listening to that negative side telling you that it's not. There is. There are many things that try to hold you back. Don't get me wrong. But it's a part of being around people that celebrate you and not tear you down. And it's a major part, like I said, keep speaking that stuff into yourself, the positive, the brilliance, and seeking, your absolute best in everything you do. That gives you the energy to become better and better. Stop listening to those naysayers. They're jealous. They're jealous. They're seeing, trust me, when you start speaking that positive stuff into yourself, people around you, you're going to realize how negative they are, how they say things about you or another person based off of nothing, just because they want you to be down as they are. Speak truth into them, speak love into yourself, and you'll become everything you're created to be. I say that because it's true. I wouldn't lie to you. It's true. Give yourself that love, because getting it from somebody else, it really doesn't matter, because that person has to be around for you to feel it. What if that person leaves? What if that person dies? Now you don't feel it anymore? You're not connected to it? The connection is you. It's not about arrogance. It's not about self-centered. It is all about, if you don't have that energy in you, how can you give to somebody else when you are devoid of it in yourself? All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, Lynn. I see you. Good night, Nina. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I believe anything is possible. I never limit myself. All right, now that's what I'm talking about. You guys have a good night. Be safe. I see you. I didn't mention your name. Good night, Dennis. Preaching the truth. I'm trying my best. You guys have a good night. DJ, I see you. You have a good night as well. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Much love. Y'all take care. And I will see you when I see you.